Today, we're going to be talking about Facebook groups. And I know that when I say that, so many of you start cringing. But yes, Facebook still is pretty much the best place to gather your community online. Now, there's lots of other little communities that are popping up, new apps that are popping up all over the place. And I like these. I think these are really promising. But we're going to talk about my Facebook group growth strategy. And I have a couple different Facebook groups, and we're going to talk about how to implement a Facebook group strategy into your weekly routine without requiring a ton of hours for you. So I think you're going to enjoy today's topic, especially if you've got a live stream show, you're a content creator, and you're looking to really gather your audience and monetize them, move them to the next step with you. So we got a good show today. I hope that you'll stick around. It's the business of live video. Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. My name is Owen Video, and you can give me 5. That's right, type 5 into the comment section now. That is how we say hello on this show. And if you're new, go ahead and type the word new into the comments as well, so that after the show, when the show's over and you're thinking about me, I can go back in and write to you. That's what we like to do. It's how we like to welcome new members into our community. And I want you to know that you can skip ahead 10 minutes. You could jump ahead if you want to dive right into our content for today. But I'm going to take a few moments right now and welcome some of our live video members. We're going to also give away some prizes, and we're going to recognize a very special person in our audience. But before we do all that, let's give away some prizes. That's right. This month, we are giving away this Rode PodMic cardioid microphone. And it's actually the perfect microphone for live streaming from your desk. Or you want to show the slides? Do I need to click it? I can click buy button. Here we go. There we go. This Rode PodMic is perfect from live streaming from your desk. Got great reviews online. We give one of these away every single month. Normally $100 online, but you can go to epiclivevideo.com to enter. All you have to do is start a free account with Restream. It's not even a trial. It's a free account. Or upgrade your current account. We give one of these away every single month. And this month, we actually have a winner. And the winner of last month's microphone is none other than Kathy Jung, also known as Kathy Fit. I got to tell you guys, I love Kathy. And if you're watching today, Kathy, I didn't email you ahead of time. We just picked the winner before the show. But you are our winner. You get the microphone this month. And I just appreciate you so much. Kathy and I almost feel, I almost feel like it's unfair because Kathy and I call her Kathy Fit. And her and I become so close through the live streaming and the YouTube community, and so she's really become sort of like a sister, like fam, across the web. And so I'm really pumped that you were able to win the microphone this month. So give it up for Kathy Jung, who won our microphone. Kathy, just reach out to me, and we will get you that microphone. Remember, all of this is brought to you by Restream. Restream is the broadcast software that we're using right now to broadcast to all different types of platforms and networks, over 250 different platforms. Plus, you get this really amazing live studio broadcaster with all sorts of fantastic tools for screencasting and inviting guests, and also these high quality analytics that you really just can't get anywhere else. So you can get started for free at epiclivevideo.com. Go to epiclivevideo.com and start your free account with Restream. In fact, we're using it today as we talk about our topic, which is how to grow your Facebook group. So let me ask those of you guys watching right now, how many of you have a Facebook group right now? I want to hear from you in the chat area. And if I can't see your name, it's because we're in a Facebook group and I can't see everybody's name from the Facebook group. But do you have a Facebook group now? And what are your biggest challenges with running that Facebook group. I'm going to go through a couple different key points with you today, and I hope to keep this sort of a casual conversation before we go into maybe some Q&A, and just sort of just talk, about what's going on. So if you're watching this on the replay, we may have cut out the Q&A. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do, but Let's Talk Stroke is here. Demi Hart is here. It's great to see you here, man. Week after week after week. Lizel is here. Henry the Fifth is here. Caesar is saying not yet. I have a membership group in a Facebook group. Okay, so let's sort of talk about some of these ideas surrounding a Facebook group. So as of right now, Facebook's the best place to gather your audience. Even if you're on YouTube, okay, and this is assuming that you don't have a Patreon, it's assuming that you don't have a membership scenario set up on YouTube, and maybe if you do, right, at the end of the day, you're still kind of getting your audience on YouTube, and you're not able to take advantage of some of the additional features that a Facebook group can provide. For example, running ads, okay, and retargeting is huge, but also using Facebook Messenger and having some of the features that are involved with ManyChat and the Facebook bot sort of scenario. So I think that you do need to have a Facebook group right now if you want to gather up your audience. The question is like, what do you do from there, right? And how do you keep this group sort of growing, right, and not stagnating? Those are some of the things I want to talk about today. I want to say what's up to David Matney. Chris Durbovin says, I'm a volunteer in a Facebook group. So what do you do? Are you a volunteer like manager in there? I'd love to know about that. Alfredo Tagolo is logging in. It's been a while, my friend. It's great to see you here. Bradley Teaches is saying, yes, I have a group. Bradley, I'm glad that you're watching over here. This episode is ideal for someone like you. So Bradley, talk to me about why you wanted to have a Facebook group and what are some of your struggles in that group. And if you guys have any questions, ask them in the chat area. We'll get to that. I'm going to show you my Facebook group. We're actually going to look at the screen and go over some things today. Okay, but let's just start with growing this Facebook group, right? All growth happens from purpose, okay? So all growth happens from purpose, right? Like a seed has a purpose. It's to become a plant. And so that's where growth happens, is in that seed. So I want you to be thinking about what is the purpose of your Facebook group. And you're going to have like kind of these two different levels of purpose. You're going to have sort of like why you have it as a creator, okay, or as a business person. So for me, we have a couple different groups, and it's to gather our fans together. Okay, this is the purpose of our Facebook group. To gather our fans, our friends, our community together. This is key. How many of you have been to a conference lately? Okay, I was just at Vid Summit. I'm going to Video Marketing World this week. I was at People of Video last week. Conferences are where you meet with people and connect with people, and you get to hug and you get to high five. So creating these areas where people can get together is extremely, extremely valuable. And you have to be the one, as the leader of your company, you have to be the one that creates those environments. And this is where the other apps kind of fall short, okay? So look, you can go to apps like, I think it's called Communities, and apps like Discord. And I'm not against these things. In fact, I really am pulling for these to get better. But you have this problem of like, I don't have the app, or it's not a good experience, or like Discord for me is really very challenging. It's not part of my DNA yet. It's like I got to go to the app, and oh my gosh, it's been undownloaded. I got to download it again. Whereas Facebook group sort of passes all of that, and because everybody has a Facebook account, okay? So the purpose of your goal is to gather your fans, and even that word I don't really like too much. It's your audience. It's your people. What do you call them? I love to hear from you guys in the comments. Okay, but this next part I think is huge, and everybody misses that, and that is you need to create culture. Okay, now if you haven't read the book Primal Branding by Patrick Hanlon, is essential, I think, for any content creator, anyone developing a brand. You need to read this book, because you need to create culture, and your Facebook group is a great place to create culture. Now, what is create culture? Well, for example, if you're trying to create an I can culture, a you can culture, right? Like you can do this. Your Facebook group is a great place to do that, okay? By making posts and having an attitude of you can do it, right? So your Facebook group is like, this group is dedicated to art collectors, and our motto is you can do it. You can become an art collector. And this group will show you how by answering questions. And that brings us to step number 3, which is have a clear goal. Have a clear goal for the group, okay? So before I dig into that, because it's kind of self-explanatory, I want to really just emphasize create culture. Scott is saying, I won't join a brand's community unless it's a Facebook group or on Slack. And that's interesting. I will almost not join a Slack channel. There's one Slack channel that I'm on, and it's Restreams, and they're worth it. They're worth every penny. But the other Slack channels, I don't get Slack, and I don't like having another app. Not to say that it's bad. I just think that my mindset represents a majority of people that join groups. But Scott brings up a really fantastic point about the need for Facebook groups. Okay. But when you create culture, what you're doing is you're creating a shared experience. So I think about Kathy Fit, who has this whole fitness thing for busy mamas is really her life, eating healthy and that sort of thing. You have the opportunity to create shared experiences in that group by going live in the group once a week, as most of you are already doing. Okay. And if you're not, this is part of what you do in a Facebook group. And I'm going to talk about like the 5 best post types, like what to post in this group, because I don't want any of you taking on like 10 hours of work, right? Like that's not the point of this episode. The point is like, you should have a Facebook group and you should, touch it minimally throughout the week. But when you touch it, what you're doing is you're gathering fans, you're putting more people into it, and then you're creating these cultural experiences. So for example, what we do is share tools, right? Because we try to create a positive you can atmosphere. So we want to share tools because the tools are the vehicles of you can. I love these comments. I'm going to get to these comments in just a quick second. Let's go to what Christina's saying right now. Christina, who's just a wonderful content creator, great friend, is saying, I don't think my group has a culture, but we do have rules that people have to follow, and people like our rules. I think that your culture can be expressed in your rules. For example, I'm in a group that's like, it's a comedy writing group, and nothing is off limits. And they say that in the rules. They say nothing is off limits. This is a place where comedy can live. I'm in another Facebook group where part of the rules is, X, Y, and Z types of comedy are not accepted here, And, I'm not here to say one is better than the other. What I am here to say is that at least they know what culture they're trying to create. Okay. So I think that the rules do create that type of culture. I'd love to know, Christina, what some of those rules are, because we all have kind of this like no swearing, although I highly doubt that that's Christina's rule. But or like family friendly topics or whatever the case might be. Like you're going to have those basic rules, but culture goes beyond the cannots and it goes into the we do's, right? So it's not the cannots. You cannot do this and you cannot do this, but we do this. It's what you put in, right? Like when you're making, chocolate chip cookies, you can always say like, we do not put cinnamon and we do not put these, but your culture is the chocolate chips, but we do add chocolate chips and we do add brown sugar and we do add extra butter, and these kinds of things. So what are the things that you can add to your group to create culture? What we do is share your video Wednesdays, and we ask people to share their videos so that they get a chance to kind of prove the work that they're doing, right? And it gives us a chance to like recognize and appreciate them. So I think that's really important. And then the last part, okay, and the last part I've already mentioned before, but I want to go deeper into it, is have a clear goal. Okay. Now I think for many of you, your goal is going to go back and forth. Your goal is going to go back and forth. But here's sort of our goals. Okay. Our goals are like, Our goals are, first of all, conversations. So we want 15 new conversations from our group every single week. What is a conversation? A conversation is that somebody from our group, we reached out to them. Let me back up. So when somebody joins our group, we reach out to them and we say, welcome. Okay. And in that conversation, what we want to do is see if they're interested in our products and services, namely our video marketing course. And if they are, if they're like, yeah, I'd like to know more about that, then we call that a conversation. Okay. Our goal is to have 15 conversations per week in that goal, as that goal. Okay. So that's one of our goals. Another part of your goal might be, well, let me put it this way, is not post 3 times a week. That's not your goal. Your goal is what you're trying to get from the Facebook group. Okay. So I want you to think about right now, like, what do you want your Facebook group to accomplish? Right? Maybe it's increasing your views is what you want to do. Okay. And if you want to increase your views, then you're going to post in that group appropriately as a way to get more views. And we'll talk about that coming up next in the best post types. Okay. Well, I'm going to show you guys some of the best post types, but I shouldn't have made this comment. It looks like I made a cookie culture comment, and I'm getting all of these comments on cookies. I love to see the highbrow nature of our, I tell you, I know this audience is like going to keep it way up top, huge, but I love seeing you guys here, and I'm glad that you're here. So let's talk about some of the best post types. Okay. And I'm actually going to go to a screen share, and let's see if I can pop my little head up. There I am. Hey, everybody. There I am. Okay. So what we are looking at here is we are looking at our Facebook group, YouTube and live stream for entrepreneurs and business. There's a couple things I want you to look at. Number one is I'm going to post this link in the description box, and I want to invite you guys to come and join the Facebook group. Okay. Now, there's a few things I want you to notice about this group. And first of all, it's the banner. You need to have a solid banner and a solid sort of about page in your Facebook group. I like to have a link to my tool guide here. Let's see if it works. I hope it works. Good. And it's still working. But we've got in our about this group, I think that we could probably write a little bit more here. But I don't love the banner. It's too wordy, okay? I'm going to show you guys an example of what I think is a good banner. Here's another one. Is the live video mastermind group. In fact, this is the group I really want you guys to join. So I'm going to put that in the chat area as well. But notice how the picture is just like one clear picture, and it shows me doing what we do in the group. Okay. And I've also got, this text, live video marketing mastermind, where I've just kind of restated the text, but it's a very clear, big open banner. And I think that you need that. Now over here in the about group, in the about section, I want you to kind of look at all this. This is sort of a well-written explanation of our group culture, and helps people to understand what we're, setting up here. Now, let's talk about post types. Because that's kind of what I brought you in on. Let's talk about post types. So there's like 4 or 5 really solid post types that I want you to get comfortable with in a Facebook group. So it's like, what do you post in your Facebook group, right? Because you don't want to like overwhelm yourself with a new job, right? Like, how do I get back to me? You don't want to overwhelm yourself with a new job by creating this Facebook group that now you have to babysit this Facebook group all the time. Like, oh, what do I post to the Facebook group? Like, it's enough to deal with social media on your own, much less having to deal with this brand new Facebook group. So what do you post? Here's the first thing. You're already going live, right? You're already going live. And if you're not, you should be going live once a week, once a month. you're going to go live inside your Facebook group, and you can do that with Restream. Okay, you can go live into multiple different Facebook locations. In fact, right now, we're live streaming on a Facebook page, Facebook profile, and like 3 different Facebook groups. Okay. So oatmeal cookies, man. Oh, Scott's out with coconut. If you guys, I'm reading the comments over here. It's just such silliness happening. Okay, so let's go back to post types here, and then what that actually looks like. We're trying some new things today. I'm playing with different screen share capabilities. So if I'm poking around, so you're gonna post your live stream in there. Hopefully that's once a week. Well, that's once a week you're posting in your group. So you could get away with posting in your group one more time per the week, and that's 2 times per week. And I think that that's enough. I really do. The question is, are you accomplishing your goals with that posting strategy? Okay. So here's one example. Post your Amazon affiliate links. So this is a post right now advertising a custom background that you can buy on Amazon. And you know, this is a tool. This goes back to tools. And they can purchase that with the link down below. Okay. Now, here's another post that I think is incredibly important. And this is a welcome newest members post. Now, Facebook groups will tell you, like every Friday, they'll say, hey, you had like 15 new people join your group. Do you want to welcome them? You click yes, and you add a picture, and then you've got this welcome picture up. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You get this where everybody is tagged. Notice all the blue names because Facebook automatically tags them. So this is something easy that any VA could do. Now, I do recommend against having the same picture up week after week after week. Like, find a new picture, right? It could be a picture. You could even use animated GIFs, right? And just pick a GIF, okay? So do a welcome newest members group. And then when you tag people, try to get them to ask a question or get them to engage in the group somehow. How about share your latest X, Y, and Z, right? Whatever it is, share your latest win, share your latest art collectible, share your latest robot vacuum. Jeff Hunter, I see you there. David Matney is asking, can you do a quick welcome video? Yeah. You know, I think what you have there in Facebook groups, you have this thing called announcements. And what I would do is for about the first month of your Facebook group, you have a pinned announcement there that is your welcome video. So you make a post, you pin it as an announcement, or you mark it as announcement, and you keep it there in the front of your group. Okay, that video should not only be welcome, but it should be like leave a comment or do something, okay? And this is how you're going to grow your Facebook group, because when people come and they see the group, they can see that it's active, and they can see that you're updating, even if it's only 2 or 3 posts a week, okay? So yes, I think you can have a quick welcome video, but that's something that you're going to post like once, you know, and you're not going to post it too much again after that, but you're always going to leave it as an announcement. So again, going back to the type of groups that you have, we've got someone saying here, I think this is Bradley, as a result of that common goal, we've seen 2x growth among our district units. That's incredible. Oh, that's for the Cub Scouts? Man, I love this. I think Cub Scouts is incredible, and it's too bad that they're like just not as around. All my boys want to join Cub Scouts, but there's just no one here to do that. Hey, Owen, I'm from South Africa. David, it's good to have you here. I hope that you'll come back. Gadget Gecko is giving us an Air 5. Whoop, Gadget Gecko, great to see you. Welcome to the stream. So look, here's another type of post. Share, depending on what kind of group you have. Share your latest win. Share your latest video. Share your latest podcast. Share your latest sale. Okay. The thing is UGC, right? Other user-generated content. It's about getting your people to post for you. And then, of course, you're going to pre-schedule your live streams in that group as well, so that you have, you know, tons of great tons of great stuff in the live stream, and they see that you're streaming week after week after week. So how about getting new people into the group? Okay. A couple big things. Number one, you have got to, Ed Weinberg is saying, start your own Cub Scout group. That'll grow it. It's good. I like it. You're thinking, Ed. I like it. Number one is weekly content that promotes people to join your group. Okay. Weekly content. So we are going to start promoting the live stream group that I just shared with you guys today. So I want to invite all of you to go join that group. Okay. When you do, there's going to be a couple of pre-qualifying questions. Just answer those. And then you'll be a part of our group where you'll see some of our posts. Now, Simran is asking a really great question. And this is kind of like these last two, this is kind of like where I wanted to go with you guys. Is saying, we're a shoe company. Can we start a group talking about sustainable products? Yeah, you can, but like, isn't it really your sustainable products? Isn't it really like sustainable shoe products and related footwear? Because I want you to get really specific about that, because I'll tell you what, you're going to find it really hard to justify a group where you're a shoe company, but you're talking about sustainable toothbrushes. Right? Now, the reason for that is it's still related, but is it relevant to the user's experience? I think that your shoe company is your Facebook group is about like how to maximize your shoe, how to get the most out of the product that you sell, and how about this? How to walk through a sustainable life, how to run through a sustainable life, something like that. And your group is about the shoe and how to maximize the shoe, but then you also include tips on leading a sustainable life. Like, you got sustainable shoes, how about the sustainable toothbrush? Now, again, what do you think of that idea? Because I do think it needs to be highly related to your monetization plan. Okay. How are you making your money? And then, because you're a shoe company, I think that you want to like leverage the group as a siphon for customer service, meaning you don't handle customer service in the group. What you do is, when customer service issues arise, you DM them to show the group that you're attentive, but to not waste the group's time with customer service problems. Okay. So yeah, I would keep it around your monetization plan. Caesar BM is asking, who is supposed to join that group? Your friends or who else? Your Facebook friends? This is a great question. The answer is absolutely everybody. And really what we mean is everybody who's qualified to be a super fan. So a super fan is going to be somebody who buys your product, somebody who watches your streams, somebody who wants to have a conversation with you about the content that you're interested in. If your cousin fits that, yeah. If your Facebook friends fit that, yeah. But look, none of my Facebook friends are in my live streaming group. I mean, the live streaming friends that I have are, but my cousins aren't. The kids I grew up with in high school aren't in my live streaming groups. Similarly, I have a cancer group. For those of you guys that don't know, I'm actively defeating stage 4 cancer against all the recommendations of the doctors. I went with a metabolic healing plan, an alternative medicine plan, and I've shrunk my tumors more than 50%. We started a Facebook group to share that journey. But look, I have friends that just lost a loved one to cancer yesterday. I don't expect them to join my group. I know people that lost a loved one to cancer 4 years ago, and I don't expect them to join my group. Can you imagine joining a group where all you hear about are the things that your loved one could have done, could have got them more years? It's very, very sad. So look, not everyone's going to join your group, and that's okay. You really want your group to be of super fans. How do you do that? By the ways that I already sort of mentioned. Okay, you need to have a clear goal. Like, what is this group for? And it's not about posting, right? Our goal is 15 conversations a week. So we post, according to what will accomplish that goal. The other part is we want to create culture. We want to create an atmosphere of you can do this. And so that drives all of our decisions. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about your voice in the group, And, Christina mentioned things that rules that the group members don't do. But what about the things that you don't do as a group admin? Things like, I don't say the word no in this group. I won't talk about X in this group. You really have to, put up the bumpers. Like on a bowling alley, you got to put up the bumpers for you so that you can create that culture in a very like systematic way that doesn't burn a lot of your energy. So Bradley is saying you want the right people to feel like they're home when they're in your group. I think that's amazing. Mike Phillips is saying I need super fans. Now, Mike Phillips, first of all, congratulations on your recovery, my bro. God bless you and continue to bless you as you continue to heal. I had COVID. I got pericarditis afterwards. I got post-COVID syndrome, and it was a real nightmare. But look, I know what Mike Phillips does. So, Mike, if you don't mind, Mike teaches sales and leadership, right? So, Mike, I would start a group that's designed to pull your YouTube audience onto Facebook, okay, and designed to get your Facebook audience onto YouTube. Okay, so it's this commingling situation. Now, I don't need your YouTube fans to follow you on Facebook, but you want to have a place for them to gather outside of YouTube. You'll find that many of your YouTube followers are active on Facebook. So bring them over there. And if I were you, I would start a group called like Tomorrow's Leaders or like Next Level Leader. Or really, Mike, take whatever you're already calling your program and then just call it that, right? So if you're like super leaders, then you call the group super leaders, okay? And the whole purpose of that group is for you to have, let's say, 15 conversations with potentials that would buy your product. But your other goal is to grow to 5,000 members in a year, which is a lot, but definitely can be done. So Mike is saying, I have an empty group currently called Leadership Elite, but I have an upcoming book for that. Okay, so this is what you need to do, Mike. You need to like change the banner on your Facebook, on your YouTube page to say, join my Facebook group. Okay. And then in your Facebook group, as that announcement post, I would have them write something like, share your leadership experience. You're like, hey, everybody, welcome to the group. First and foremost, I need you to share your leadership experience. On the thread below, click comment. And I want to know who you are and why you're a leader. And remember, only leaders will accomplish this task. And so what you have now is this announcement thread in the group where people are coming over from YouTube and they're commenting, hey, I'm a salesman, I'm an executive, I'm an entrepreneur, and da 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 da. And then all of these people, you go and you engage with them, and you're building relationships, and possibly saying, hey, have you checked out my new program? Right? Have you seen my new program? Okay, and that brings us into monetization, which is sort of the next thing I wanted to talk about. So let's move into this monetization. So you're gathering people in your group, and you're doing that by announcing every single week that you have a group. You send an email out that says, I have this Facebook group. Once a week on your damn Facebook profile, you post, I have this group. Okay? Teacher Paul's here, everybody. Oh, dang it. I keep pressing the laugh track. Teacher Paul is here, and we always love it when Teacher Paul shows up. He says Facebook groups really seem like a gold mine, and they are, and it's all about getting engagement, okay? And here's the thing is you want to be in a place where it's like 15 people a week come into your group from your videos. And then next week, another 15. And then next week, another 15. And then, with each sort of, new sort of cohort or weekly influx, 30% of those people are leads or 30% of those people become super fans. And so you're kind of like creating this just stockpile of future super fans. And then you're using your Facebook group to monetize. How do you monetize? Well, great question, Valentino. We'll come right back to that. You monetize by selling your product or service to your group. Okay. Now, for many of you that are YouTubers and you want to make money with AdSense, then I want to encourage you to use your Facebook group to move affiliate products. Okay, products that you're an ambassador for, products that you sell yourself, t-shirts and merch. I want you to look at it as an additional monetization place, but also a BTS, a behind the scenes. This is what I do on the Beat Cancer With Me page. Right now, it's just behind the scenes. I haven't figured it out entirely, but I'm sharing sort of like the struggle. Like I did a video today. I'll be transparent with you guys. I saw a Facebook post about a friend who had cancer and didn't make it, and I needed to emote over that. And so, I went for a walk and I mourned. I cried for this person, and I made a video about how I felt. And I'm going to post that in my Facebook group. I'm not going to post that publicly. It's too soon. It's not edited. And I don't even know what the strategy was. It was just emotional. But I want people in my group, those people in my group have like agreed to go through that process with me, the cancer process with me. So I'm going to share that with them. And that's sort of like a BTS, behind the scenes. You get to show them a little bit of what goes on during the week and what goes on in the process of you being you. Okay. Now, how am I going to monetize that? Well, that Facebook group is going to become a cancer coaching group long term. Eventually, we're going to have a program where we will teach people how to beat cancer in 12 months or less. But I want to move away from that topic because it's very, very sensitive when you talk about monetizing cancer patients. Like we have a hard time with it. It's like we want to do it for free. We have no idea. Let's talk about coaching companies and the video marketing school group and how we monetize those. The biggest thing that we do there is we ask people to share their videos. And then get this, we actually watch the videos. Can you believe it? We actually watch the videos and we find out like what level are they performing and is this someone who's a good fit for our program? And so by posting in the group, we get response. That response pre-qualifies the buyer. And that's when my salesperson goes in and starts a conversation about, hey, you might be a good fit for our programs. Okay. All right, let's go into the next thing, which is voice. Okay, your voice in your group. I want to see what I wrote down here because I did have notes for today, and I kind of like how you talk to and engage your members, your commitment. So I think that you need to have a commitment level of when you're going to engage in your group and how you're going to speak in your group. Like, are you the manager? Or is it your group that someone else is going to manage? I think that you really need to think about like the position that you're coming from and really stay in that. So if you're a live streamer, then you only talking about live streaming, in the live stream group. You're not really varying into YouTube unless it's in the context of live streaming, right? You're not really talking about Instagram unless you're talking about the subject of maybe repurposing your live streams or the way that it goes. But you need to kind of know what you're trying to do and then have the voice that's appropriate to it. And that'll help you respond to comments like, as Paul, as the hard-boiled English teacher, you're the teacher. So when you get a comment or you get sort of like a thread going where someone else is trying to be the teacher, and I get this in my group all the time, I'm the coach, but I get people in my group that want to be the coach and sort of siphon off my group. And that brings me to some of your questions. My voice is always one of leadership. So it's encouraging, but firm. You know what I mean? It's always going to be like, hey, this is a great post. And it's really a fantastic way to get more people interested in your business. It's not appropriate here because this is my group that I founded, So, we're going to take it down, but we really love your attitude, your excitement, and all those different things. Okay, so those are some things to think about. Let's go to Ron Williams' question first, and then we'll go to some of these other questions. Ron is asking, how did you create this excellent background around your video frame? We did all of that using Restream. It's built in, and you can try it for free for as long as you want, my friend. Go to epiclivevideo.com, start your account, and when you do start an account with Restream, you'll actually be entered to win. You'll be entered to win a microphone. So that's cool. Carlos, if you could find some of those questions for me. Paul is asking, hey, I was checking about this subject. How about a niche group, right? So again, the way to grow your Facebook group is weekly announcements in your posting content. So if you go live once a week on YouTube, if you're gonna upload once a week on YouTube, then you mention in that video, join my Facebook group. Put join my Facebook group in your YouTube banner. Put it in your description box. Make a reference to it. Now, do you do that in every single video? No, I think it's going to get old and boring, but you need to have it in there. It's kind of like, just like when you make these videos, you go, oh, I didn't make anyone laugh. You need to make these videos and kind of like, oh, I didn't bring anyone into my Facebook group. Okay. Now your email lists, big time, like twice a month, send a list. Hey, are you in our Facebook group? Did you know I had a Facebook group? Hey, you know what? I love Facebook groups. Join mine. Hey, do you love tech? Join my Facebook group. Again, it doesn't matter what your niche is, and it doesn't matter how many people you have in your email list. If you only have an email list of 37 people, they won't all join. Probably 6 of them will join at a time. Keep emailing that 6 or that 30 until you get all of them to join. The other part of that is get a custom URL. Go to Rebrandly and get a custom URL. Don't use a Bitly. Bitly is a little bit old school, and even though I like Bitly, people kind of like associate them with spam. So I would stay away from Bitly, and I would focus on Rebrandly. And then you can get a custom domain like owenvideo.com. It's like owenvideo.com/Facebook group. And now that custom link goes to your Facebook group. So you put that in your email subject line. On your Facebook profile, like in your Instagram story, we post your food. Post your food, and then on the next one, hey, you want to talk tech? Then join my Facebook group. Okay. Yeah, you know what? Okay, I love Jason Blake's question too. Let's go to Valentino. Do you leave it as a public group or a private group? It's hard to keep spammers out. Okay, great question. Let's go back into the group, and here's what I do. Every group allows you to set up questions. Oh, I think I need to do that in settings. Every group allows you to set up these pre-qualifying questions, and I need to find them. Sorry, guys. I promised myself I wouldn't do this, where I'm like, here it is, membership questions, like flipping around through it. Okay, so you can set up these membership questions. So I believe that you leave it as a public group, okay? That way other people can see it, but you can only join if it's approved, right? So what we do is you must answer these questions to get entry into the group. Now, if my buddy or my colleague or my client doesn't answer, then I just let them in the group. It's like no big deal, but most people fill out the questions. Do you promise to read the rules of the group? What is your email address? That's how we monetize and generate leads, right? So it's really, really simple, is to ask a couple questions. But the people that fill out the questions will not be spammers, right? These are people that want what it is that you have to offer. So all of that is to say you're gonna get spammers. Like I wish that there was, oh, do this, you'll never get spammers. You will. A spammer by nature gets through the filters. What you want, though, is just like healthy grass will choke out weeds. So, when it's like, well, how do I get rid of the weeds in my grass? Well, grow healthier grass, right? How do you get rid of the spammers? Grow a healthier group. Have a really strong, clear purpose. Post according to that purpose, right? Don't choose a voice that doesn't vary from that purpose, right? And you'll find that the spammers rise to the surface where you delete and block them, But put the questions up ahead of time. She said, this is what the group is about, and this is what we do, and all of these different kinds of things. Next question. Hard-boiled English is saying, once you've invited your entire list, does Facebook promote your group with an algorithm? Yes, but I wouldn't rely on that, and you don't want that either. That algorithm is not anything to write home about either. It's like, it might be groups that you want to join or groups that you're familiar with. What you really want to do is make posts, Paul, like stories, like anything. Like today I'm doing this. Like post a picture of your food, but then in the copy say like, I'm about to eat these hard-boiled eggs. Well, that's a bad example because you're called hard-boiled. Let's say I'm about to eat this chicken sandwich, and I'm just thinking about my English students from all over the world. You know, they want to learn English and they want to learn it fast. And it's exactly why I started my Facebook group is to have a place where everybody could kind of like come together and share their experience and share their tips for learning English, and also share some of the things that they've learned. And as I'm eating this breakfast, I'm just so grateful for this opportunity. And you know, I put here's a link to my Facebook group if you want to join. You know, but it's like you see how it was like this indirect kind of like, here's my food, but I'm writing about gratitude. And then you're you know, in the end, the only people that are going to click that link are going to be people interested in what you just said was the group was about. Okay. But you posted it in such a way as to not offend your Facebook profile fan, your fans and family, you know, like even when I post for this show, I schedule it on my Facebook profile, but it's not like how to go live on Facebook groups. It's more like, you know, every Monday I do a show and you know, it's a little bit more personal so that my Facebook profile friends and family aren't like offended by it. Okay. Great question. I hope that answers it. Let's move to the next one. Jason Blake is saying, great topic. I struggled as it felt like the group started to become the Jason Blake show. That is exactly where I came from, Jason. Group members prefer to communicate privately via DM rather than in group discussions. Okay, same exact problem. Same exact problem, and that's how we've solved it, okay, is because we had that problem. And so the solution there is in creating culture, first of all. Your group is something different, right? Your culture was the Jason Blake show. So the solution is change the culture, right? How do you do that? You got to have a goal. What's the purpose of this group? And if the purpose of the group is to promote your content, then you're not thinking about it correctly. The purpose of the group is what? For you to get 15 new leads per week, or to sell 5 mugs, you know, or to sell, you know, X, Y, or Z, whatever the group is. So then how do you post in order to, what do you post in order to make that happen? I firmly believe you only need to post. First of all, you're going to pre-schedule your live stream, which many of you were already doing. How many of you are already live streaming? Just by a show of hands or yes in the yes or no in the chat area. How many of you are already live streaming? Okay. So you're going to pre-schedule that. It'll go into your group. So that's 1 post a week. Every Friday, Facebook's going to say, do you want to welcome new group members? You're going to click yes, and it automatically creates a post for you. You can add a picture, add a GIF, add a video. So that's 2 posts per week. A 3rd post per week. It could be an affiliate post. It could be, again, a tool, a tip. Jason, what's the culture you want to create? Okay. And then I think what you do is you want to DM. You want to get DMs going. So I think that you like that. You want that, but you're going to want to create a group that more people want to join so that you get more DMs. And here's the thing. Here's the other thing that I did, Jason. I would tell people in the DMs, wow, this was a great conversation. Thanks so much for asking me your question. Share this in the group. Just go share with the group that I helped you. That would really mean a lot to me. And they do. And what it does is it redirects them back to the group so that in the future, I'll even say, hey, can you ask me this in the group? I think a lot of people could benefit from it. And I would strongly recommend that you do that. Redirect them if they're not in the right place. Redirect them. You know, say, hey, this is a great question. Thanks for asking. Can you ask this in the group? You know, the reason being is that my messenger is so full, like I get lost half the time, and I'll see it. If it's I'll see it if it's in the group or whatever, you know. Okay, great question. How do you use a Facebook group to promote a YouTube channel for live streams? Okay, great question, Psychedelic. Now, I'll tell you this. I normally don't. You know, I look at my Facebook group as a place to gather my YouTube fans or my YouTube followers. That's how I look at it. Now, do I promote my YouTube videos in the Facebook group? I used to, and I'll tell you what, I got people watch because it's not about getting new subscribers, really. It's about letting your subscribers know that you just posted a new video. They may not have got the alert on YouTube. But here's a couple of problems. When you post a YouTube link in a Facebook group and a viewer clicks on it, that YouTube video will open up inside the Facebook browser. And because it's inside the Facebook's browser, the user is not logged into their YouTube channel. So even though you get the watch time, it doesn't know who it is, male or female. It's really not very beneficial to you. So because of those reasons, I will post some of my YouTube videos, in my Facebook group, but it's more about bringing YouTube viewers over to the live, to the Facebook group. And then, yeah, posting your calendar in there is fine. It's fine. It really is fine. It's not my plan. I'll just put it that way. It's not my plan. Okay, next question. Okay, so our shoe company has a business page. Since groups are better to create culture and monetize, how do we incentivize the current followers to join the group? Okay, so your business page is like no different than your profile. It's almost meaningless. So, I don't know. I mean, again, I know how big your company is. So you might be getting great engagement on your posts. What you've got to do is create a Facebook group that goes farther. So what does your Facebook page do? Like, what are your posts there? And I don't want to make any judgments, but a lot of people's Facebook pages are like, I'm gonna like industry news. Here's the latest happening in sustainable clothing. Here's our latest new product, right? It's like a billboard. It's like your press release. Your Facebook page is like a press release. And instead, I would leverage the group as like, get the most from your sustainable choices. Like you just bought these shoes, like how to go deeper. I don't want to add to your plate, but like, how about interviewing some leaders in sustainable living? And do that in your Facebook group. Have webinars in your Facebook group. Again, this goes back to creating culture and rhythm. Maybe you do like a success story where you share how many dolphins you've saved because you've made so many shoes. People buy your shoes because they like them. Number one, I believe that firmly. They like them. And number two, because they're sustainable, right? I just bought a set of ultra running shoes, and I liked them because I bought them because I liked them, but I also bought them because they had a wider toe area, but if they didn't have any in the wider toe that I liked, I wouldn't have bought it, So give those people a place to raise their flag and say, I support sustainable living. How about running tips? Now, again, that's your Facebook page. Your group is going to be more like a running expert. It's going to come in and help teach people how to run. Okay. So how do we incentivize the current followers to join the group? You say it's all about going the next level deeper. And you've got to think about what your goal is with that. Like, what kind of content do you want to produce? What do you want them to feel in? I think largely it's like get to know the community, because it's hard to do that on a Facebook group. Great question, Simran. And by the way, for any of you guys that might be interested in working with me and getting consultation, whether it's one-off or continuous, go to thevideomarketingschool.com. Click on Work With Us at thevideomarketingschool.com, the Work With Us tab, and fill out the form. I'd love to get to know you. Ron is saying, what is the best strategy you found for posting into other non-competitive groups and attracting people to your group without offending the group owner? Okay, great question. Is it always about building a relationship with the group owner first? No, okay, but I believe in creating a relationship with the group owner. Okay, so I'm the type of guy where, when I like a business, I want to know the CEO. When I go to a church, I want to meet the head pastor. You know what I mean? Like, I like to go to the top of the food chain. And so I like to get to know who the group owners are. But the best way to introduce yourself into group circles, like you go into another group, whether it is competitive or not, you go into another group and you immediately begin to participate in the culture of that group. This is why culture is so important. It's like, you know, when you go onto a ride at Disneyland, you know, like the ground is moving. It's like a people mover, you know, and then you have to step onto that moving ramp and then get into your seat before the ride takes off. It's the same with the Facebook group. When you enter into a Facebook group, you need to see like how the culture is moving and then get into a seat. What does that look like? It means responding. What we teach is that before you make any post, spend 2 weeks responding to other people's posts, commenting, liking, and be very natural about it. Just like go comment on posts you like, you know, and if you can find out who the group managers are and become friends with them first, even better. Okay. That's kind of what I do. Now you can also find someone in there, click on their name, and all of their posts in that group will pop up. You can go and like all that stuff, comment on a bunch of that stuff. But you want to be in a place where your expertise plays a role so that you're getting people to say, well, what do you do? Right? That's the whole key there, is getting people to say, what do you do? Right? So you need to give comments and provide feedback that's interesting and fascinating. So people go, well, what do you do? You go, oh, well, I'm Ron Williams. I'm a YouTube marketing expert. I actually have a group just like this of my own, but I'm in here because there's amazing people in this group. You know, oh, Ron, what's like Ron, what's like a link to your group? You know, well, hey, I don't, you know, we'll talk about that offline, but I'll send you a friend request. But thanks for asking, and you know, we'll talk more later. You know, again. Be very respectful. I think it's when you go in and you're like, oh, well, I have a group that does this, or I have a group that does that. I feel like that's where, you know, you really get into. So say things like, oh, I teach, or I have a thing, right? Like, so I have a thing where I show that. Oh, where do you do that? Well, it's in my Facebook group where we talk about X, Y, and Z, and it's really fantastic. Oh, well, how do I get in? Well, I'll tell you what, I'll send you a link and you could check it out. But I don't want to distract from this group here. This is a fantastic group, and I love being a part of it. See what I'm saying? Ed Weinberg is saying, I started a biz group for my area, though all I see in it are ads, because you got to create a culture, Ed. You're letting the people create a culture. So the people are posting their spam, and it's not being dealt with. Nothing's replacing it. So they don't know what to do. So here's what you do. You start posting two things. Number one is, sorry, I was looking at the questions. Number one is you're going to pre-schedule your live streams in that group. Number two is every Friday, you're going to welcome new members to the group. Okay. Which means, Ed, that you've got to be inviting new members all the time. Put the Facebook group on a QR code, put it on a business card. So when you go to the chamber and you meet all these people, you can just ask them to join your group. And especially in your demographic, that'll be so big for you. You will gain so many new followers by handing out a business card with a QR code on it. I kid you not. People want to be in more localized niche groups. Okay. And then you create this, and then you create a third type of posting, which is like, maybe it's like local business of the week. And you just say, hey, this week's local business is the Pancake Factory. You know, they've been in business for 27 years. And and you, that way people are like, oh, like give them some comments. Have you ever eaten there? What are your thoughts? And you're building this like community over recognizing other people. So people, oh, the culture in here is that we recognize others. We recognize others. So Ed is saying, I welcome each new member when they join and ask what they do. I think that's good. You know, I think that you could also welcome all the new members at once and ask them, say, comment below on what you do and what you'd like to get out of this group, you know. And then respond to the people that respond to that, right? Because again, then you're creating the culture. It's like, I don't want to get engaged in all these little DMs. It's like, I want people to follow my instructions. So when I say post in the comment, I want to see people doing it. Okay. It's not a tyrannical thing, by the way, guys. It's not like, oh, I'm going to do that because I'm a jerk. It's like, no, I'm doing that to scale and help more people. All right, let's go to the last question. Last question is, I always promote my shows 2 days before we go live and the day before, as well as the morning. This seems to work. What are your thoughts? I would say promote it less. Try to do one less thing and see if you get the same numbers. Okay. Overall, I think that the best, hey, Corruptions are, glad you're here. I think the best kind of promotion for your live stream show is great content delivered well from last week, right? Last week we'll have a good show and someone new will come on board. But I think the next part of that is your posting copy and your thumbnail. Like when you pre-schedule it, what is the title of the video? What does the thumbnail look like? Is it interesting? Is it copy and pasted stuff from all over? Go look at this video on Facebook, on my profile, on my YouTube page, and on Restream's page. All three of those are promoted a little bit differently to attract the viewers on those platforms. Okay, so you're already doing well. Let's talk stroke. Let's pull back and see if you can get the same results. And that way you're doing less work and getting a bigger result. Okay, guys, that is all for our show today. I hope you enjoyed the content that I shared with you. And if you did, smash that like button. Go ahead and share this video. Click the share button, grab the link, and just send it to somebody that you think might enjoy it. Maybe put it on Twitter. It would definitely help us out reaching more people. And I can't wait to see you next week. I'm Owen Video. We'll see you in the next show.